Hi, my name is Joe. I am a fat black belt, and today hoodie edition today. I love hoodies. It's not really hoodie weather here, but it is temperate. It is just to the point where it's like just the tiniest, littlest bit chilly outside, and I am writing inside tonight, so I can make it hoodie weather. I'm back. I didn't post for like 2 days due to funeral shenanigans, so we're not going to go into too much detail about that, save to say that I made a trip all the way up to Sandusky, made a bunch of food, drove that food all the way back down here. While I was in Sandusky, they had a terrible storm. We lost power, and it was like a very weird experience. It was a very weird experience. I got to read a lot, which was nice, but I certainly couldn't do any of the things that I had planned on doing while I was up there. It did seem almost a little ironic that I went up there and did a few hours of tech support for like my mom and her sort of quasi-retirement community friends, and then the power went out, so none of them could take advantage of it. So, how was food on the trip? Not great, not bad, not wonderful, not great. I had some sort of car trip garbage just because I hadn't eaten anything all day. And so I ate like a burger on the way up there. Dinner was fine though. Dinner was like chicken breast, broccoli, smashed potatoes, good stuff. I ate a little bit of ice cream during the power outage because, otherwise it's just in the freezer, right? The freezer's got no power. And because I was on a trip. On the way back, I had a regular size. Have you noticed that you can't find regular sized candy bars anymore? They're all like king sized, double king sized. You need a cosigner to buy this candy bar. I just want a normal sized fucking candy bar. What is wrong with people? Anyway, so I had a candy bar on the way down because I was like, well, I need focus. I need energy. I need something to do with my mouth. Excuses. Let's talk about that. I want to talk a little bit about the liminal space that is road trips. But before I get into that, the candy bar, by the way, was a butterscotch Snickers, and part of the reason I ate it was because I'm like, say what? And I thought, this is going to be interesting. It was bad. It was bad. And the only reason that I ate the second half of it was because the alternative was letting it melt all over my wife's car or trying to like navigate the backwoods of whatever part of bumfuck Ohio. I was like in the armpit of Ohio, and I didn't want to have to navigate the perineum of the heartland of Ohio just to like find a garbage can. So whatever. I don't even feel bad about that. It was just gross. Don't do that. If you're tempted by that, don't be. It's lame. There's a reason that we don't have those. But it is interesting, isn't it, that a road trip is sort of a liminal space. It's a weird space. It's a very what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? I mean, we all sort of understand how this works. It doesn't count if you're across state lines, whatever. Different zip codes, different area codes, different sides of the street. There is something about a vacation, a trip, a time when things are not part of your normal routine, that everything kind of goes out the window, and you can use that as justification because it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like part of your daily life. It feels like a time between times. So what's going on there? Obviously what's going on there is it's absolutely normal and absolutely human to be like, I just want to do this stuff and I have an excuse now, so I'm going to. And I actually don't think it's more complicated than that. But there is something about that time feeling not real, feeling like the rules don't apply. And I don't think that happens just in fitness. That just happens to be what I'm talking about here. If this were a channel about relationship advice, I would be talking about infidelity. I would be talking about, all that kind of stuff. I'd be talking about, I don't know, whatever, pick your poison. If this were about substance recovery, I would be talking about drug use or alcohol consumption. So this stuff is all the same stuff. And I think anybody who has ever tried to work through any of those sort of dependency related issues or compulsive behavior based issues knows that those liminal times are dangerous. And yeah, they're less dangerous for me. Like literally the worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to overeat and lose some progress. It's not like, it's not like I'm an alcoholic whose life is about to fall off the rails. So I am fortunate in that respect. But in other respects, maybe a little bit less fortunate because it doesn't feel as serious. So, only in that respect, by the way. I don't want anybody out there saying that like I said, overeating is worse than being an alcoholic. It's not. It's not. Say that with my whole mouth. It's not. Okay. So, did I get back on track upon returning to the land of Columbus? Yeah, pretty much. Last night, the kids wanted pizza, and I ordered it for them and didn't have any. I went out to drop some of the catering stuff off that I had at a food truck, and I grabbed food at the food truck. They had, what was this thing called? Tito's Asian Kitchen. If you're in Columbus, eat at Tito's Asian Kitchen. Find the food truck, eat something. I had the Korean beef, which is essentially like a galbi style, charred, like a Korean barbecue kind of thing. It was delicious. They served it with what I want to say is a little bit almost like a Polynesian style garlic rice. Maybe I mean Filipino. What's the difference between Polynesian garlic rice and Filipino garlic rice? I'm going to find out. I think the difference is I made up Polynesian rice. So this is like Filipino style garlic rice. You'd think I would know that. I am the food guy, but whatever. And then obviously there were some fresh veggies on there, and like really good fresh veggies. The green beans were still crunchy. It was really, really delicious. Outstanding flavor. I think overall a pretty healthy meal. Significantly better for me than just cramming pizza in my face would have been. So that was a good choice. Today, Friday, so you know what that means if you have been paying any attention whatsoever, and that is Waffle House, 4-egg omelet, chicken, bacon, cheese on the side. The omelet on the side, not the stuff on the side. On the side just means they don't bring me toast or hash browns or whatever. Good. Chicken tenders, as usual, I went the naked route and got some of those. That's fine. I had like 2 regular tenders on top of that because my kids never eat their regular tenders. Lots of protein. I'll take it. So yeah, mostly back on track. Not the best variety in the world, but it was still a busy day. I would like to see a little bit more meal planning over the course of the next week, so that is my plan. Was there exercise today? Minimal. Didn't get into my sword class. I did get out of the house in time to take my daughter to Gongguan Yusul, which was great. I didn't get any training in. I did a little bit of knee stuff while I was there just because they felt clunky, but I think tomorrow is going to be my big sort of training day, and then Sunday is just back on to the regular schedule, so that's where we are. If you find yourself in that strange liminal place between now and then, between Friday and Monday, between your regular life and the future, try to eat a vegetable, man. That's all.